please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So it's Monday morning. Well, actually for me it's Sunday morning. But in Israel, Sunday is Monday. It's really weird. They don't have Sundays in Israel. The weekend is Friday and Saturday. We're just wacky that way, baby. But in Israel, Sunday is Monday, right? Sunday is Monday. So for me, it's Monday morning. For you, it's Monday morning too. Everything's relative, baby. Everything's relative. Even culture, right? Even culture. But it's the first day of the week. We can say that, and I think we can all agree. It's the first day of the week, and there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of news as news, right? There's a lot of stuff we need to go over. It's just bizarre. It's a bizarre, eclectic mix of stories that we're going to muse about today, mostly about Doctor Who. We're going to have one non-Doctor Who story, which really does break the rule, but for me, it's kind of Doctor Who anyway. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are fantastic. I am very grateful for you liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Can I ask you, if you're on Rumble, can you comment there? I really want to try and build up my Rumble channel, because I think that's going to become my main channel. If you can head over to Rumble and subscribe to me there, that's fantastic. You get basically exactly the same content. I don't put my, what are they called, the shorts, the 1 minute videos I put on YouTube, Instagram, and what was it? Instagram and Twitter, right? I don't put those on Rumble because I don't think Rumble likes those. If they do, I'll do it. I don't mind. But the point's like this. I got a community strike about a week ago, well, a couple of weeks ago, actually. So I was offline for a week, and it was complete spurious BS, I think. It really was. It was from a review of Redacted I did over a year ago, and from what I can understand, anyway, I didn't like the show Redacted. Redacted is a audio drama, a podcast that was billed as a trans Doctor Who adventure. Right? It was about being trans was a very fundamental part of what Redacted was, and the main characters were all trans. And so I reviewed it, and it wasn't very good, in my opinion. And one of the reasons it wasn't very good is because the characters were really unlikable. They weren't good people. They weren't nice people. I didn't root for them. I didn't like being around them. I didn't like hearing them, right? So they marked that as hate speech. I'm like, no, I didn't. It's not because they were trans. It's because they're awful narcissists. Now, if you're saying that that's really representative of trans people, well, I think that's you being hateful, not me. Anyway, when I say you, I mean YouTube. So anyway, but the point's this. Things are really getting crazy politically, and I think everything, with that stuff is all linked. I think, like Donald Trump was giving a speech last weekend. My channel's flagged for like wrongthink, right? And a bunch of stuff went down last week. So that's probably why I got the community strike. But the thing is like this. There's a huge story in the news right now about the January 6th protest, which we were told was an insurrection to pervert the peaceful transfer of power. Apparently that didn't happen. Apparently that was all a massive con, according to what some news outlets are saying, some legitimate news outlets are saying, and it might have been done by the FBI. It seems like a huge, massive level of corruption going on. Look, YouTube is very much on the side of the current White House regime, right? And they're saying no, they're lying, but they're not. What happened is they just released a bunch of footage that was hidden, which shows a completely different story, and they're just saying, oh no, it's all lies, even though whatever. But YouTube will probably at some point say this is disinformation, this is hate speech, whatever. I don't know what they're going to call it, but they will give me a community strike, which means I might close my channel down or get me off for 2 weeks. Either way, I'm probably going to be using Rumble as my main channel. Honestly, my live streams get more views than my YouTube version of them do. So that's probably going to be my main channel. If you can subscribe to me at Rumble, fantastic. Also, look in the video notes, follow me on, subscribe to me on Substack. We are getting, and I'm probably not getting to it today, but I'm really working diligently on Colin Baker reading Millennial Rights, which is freaking awesome, an AI version of Colin Baker. Oh, the best AI voice is Peter Capaldi's. It's so good. Dr. Alex, who wrote this, season 12, season 13, he just released chapter 2 of Peter Capaldi reading this Peter Capaldi book. It's an AI Peter Capaldi. freaking awesome. It is and Peter Commander's voice is so good in this AI generator thing. So sign up to the Substack. You are getting that hopefully soon. I'm trying to make it work better, which is why I'm taking more time with it. So also follow me on Twitter. That's my main social media. Facebook, Instagram, and as I said, Substack. I think that's everything, right? I think I covered everything. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very good. Yes, let us get into the news stories, and there are many and plentiful news stories. Let's have a look. Well, firstly, this is not a Doctor Who news story, but for me, this is Doctor Who enough, right? Red Dwarf is just from that stable. For me, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, and Blake Seven, they all are from the same place, right? They all herald from the same location. Great news, right? This is really absolutely great news. Red Dwarf was the last time they filmed it, so this was really weird actually. On Friday, I was watching the last special, the cat one. I cannot remember the name of it, right? What was the name of the one with where they found the Cat Society? So I was watching the making of it, right? And I get a text from someone saying, Red Dwarf's back! Okay, so what happened was, after they did that, they came up with this new format, right? So instead of doing a 6-episode series, which is kind of grueling, I think, both the writing and the cast, everybody, it's a big endeavor. They came up with this new format where they did like an hour-and-a-half movie broke into 2 episodes, and that really worked. And they were going to do lots more of those, but then somehow the 2 people created Red Dwarf, Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. They worked together as a Gestalt entity called Doug Naylor for a while. Then Rob Grant really mysteriously left, right? And what was it, around series 6, 7, 8 of Red Dwarf, and you really saw the quality tumble right at that point. And it took a good few seasons before Doug Naylor kind of worked out what it was doing, and by that time it was essentially over. Weirdly enough, the last episode they did in the initial run, I think it was season 8, maybe season 9. The one they transmitted wasn't very good, and on the Blu-ray they had the untransmitted version, which is so much better, right? Just so much freaking better. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Doug Naylor only really, I think, got a grasp of what he's doing with this like second iteration of Red Dwarf, which is when they're all older. And the first one they did was Back to Earth, which was not good, right? That missed the laugh track. The audience, not laugh track, the studio audience massively. It just really, really didn't work. But then they did, what, 2 or 3 series? Red Dwarf 10, 11, 12, I can't remember, right? They did like 2 or 3 series, and they talk a bit about being older, but not that much. So the last thing they filmed was in 2019. So I was just watching that, so it's good 4 years ago. For some reason, Rob Grant wanted to take control of Red Dwarf at that time. And then Doug Naylor, I think, sued him, and it's been caught in court since, for, ever since. Thankfully, it's resolved, and it looks like Doug Naylor won, actually, because they say they're going their own separate ways and creating 2 separate Red Dwarf universes. While I assume Red Dwarf on TV and on Dave will continue with Doug Naylor here. They're all lined up, ready to go, and Rob Grant will continue doing books. Probably it was about royalties, about Rob Grant wanted more money from, the Dave stuff, right? That's my guess, right? That will be my guess on what went down. But yeah, look, great. I'm not even reading the story. Just great news. I'm so happy Red Dwarf is coming back. Where will it be? Maybe a year, maybe 2. But honestly, I love Red Dwarf, right? It's something that just maintained its quality pretty much throughout. It got a bit dodgy, I said, when Rob Grant left. I mean, the later seasons, I think, have been absolutely fantastic. So I think that's very, very good news, right? And that's close enough to Doctor Who news for me. Fine. Ever onwards. Doink. Bit of Bleeding Cool. Bleeding Cool's always a laugh, aren't they? Doctor Who, David Tennant's 14th Doctor, kicks off Red Nose Day's teaser. I haven't actually seen this yet. I have to try and find it. So this is in 5 days' time, right? Oh, so I bet we're going to be seeing a bit of David Tennant action on this. Heading into this weekend, we passed along you all the intel that you would need to know about Red Nose Day. Now, I got Red Nose Day and Children in Need mixed up in my YouTube short about it, right? I look, they're all charity things. I get confused, baby. So Red Nose Day is essentially around March, and Children in Need is in winter, right? November-ish. So that's, I think, the only difference, right? I think it's the only difference. And I guess Red Nose Days is much more revolves around comedy, right? And we learned that David Tennant will be joining hosts Paddy McGuinness, Zoe Ball, and Joel Dommett, and AJ Adudu. Okay, fine, I got that right. Did you see the expression on my face? Oh God, I got to work this out. You can imagine all the Red Nose Day Doctor Who possibilities that started cooking up in our brains. We'll be getting a Tennant sketch. Sounds likely to me, doesn't it? I mean, look, doesn't look like he's being overly shy and retiring. Would it appear with him with guest stars? Oh, Millie Gibson. There we go. I would like to see a bit of that. Could we see Tennant and Ncuti Gatwa together? Oh, don't! That shouldn't give me an erection, okay? That's wrong. Something's wired up wrong in there. But it does. No, it doesn't. Millie Gibson, on the other hand. The two Millies, I will go for a bit of that. The two Millies meet Perry. I will go for a lot of that. Where are we up to? All the positive... sorry, Tennant and Ncuti Gatwa together. Possibly some news announcements. The latest promo for the charity event did nothing to dial back a speculation, with the Tennant supporting not just the newly redesigned Red Nose. Yeah, the new really redesigned Red Nose it looks a bit weird. I mean, Red Nose Day started when I was in school. And we had like red noses, right? The red ping pong ball on your nose. I always thought it was weird that people would just make their own and they wouldn't buy one, which is the whole freaking point of red. Everyone's supposed to buy a red nose, right? That was the main charity drive. I thought that was a brilliant idea. I mean, like, yeah, try and get millions of people to spend $1, right? That's a very good idea. We like that. New Down Red Nose, but also his 14th Doctor garb. Well, that is his Doctor garb now. Here's a look at one of the special promos for Red Nose Days. If I might insert it. I can't say so many words without going. I might insert it here. She cried. Maybe. I don't know. In the video, or I might just review it on a live stream I'm doing tonight. Recording this, as I said, on Sunday the 12th. So if I don't insert it, then it'll be on my live stream. So and I'll probably put that out as a separate video. Where are we up to? Here's one of the promos, followed by a look back at Matt Smith's appearance in the 2011 edition of the charity event. The Traitors, in a special parody of the psychological game show. I haven't seen it, but Rusty Davis freaking loves Traitors. The Traitors, right? He keeps talking about it on Instagram. He loves The Traitors. I really got to check it out. He loves TV. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, there's a lot of love coming off Rusty, but his love of TV is very, very palpable. In a special parody of the hit psychological game shows, The Traitors, a star-studded roundtable gathers to decide who should be banned as Claudia Winkleman, played by Dawn French. That's weird. Why not Claudia Winkleman play Claudia Winkleman? As there was a celebrity faithful and traitors for a discussion full of twists and turns. Which famous faces will be under the cloaks? Who will be revealed to be the ultimate traitor? I mean, look, David Tennant's going to be in one of these things, isn't he? Ghosts. Hit BBC sitcom Ghosts is back for a spooktacular special for Red Nose Days, for Red Nose Day, I should say. And they have a surprise guest, none other than the superstar Kylie Minogue. When Kylie and her manager, played by Tanya Moody, arrive at Button House to see if it's suitable for a concert venue, the ghosts get the shock of their afterlives. Love Island. There's a comic relief. Okay, Eurovision. I can't even read the spoof of Love Island, right? What's the one with, like, the MILF Manor? Oh, God, that looks awful. I can't believe I live in a world which has MILF Manor as a real TV show. I remember that was a spoof on... what was that show? Man. With... I can't remember the name of anybody. It had... what's name Baldwin in it. And... what was the name of that damn show? 30 Rock! Oh! Tina Fey. Thank you. Tina Fey, Tracy Jordan, Alec Baldwin. In a special sketch, the UK may have found its Eurovision entrant for the year, but before our big panel, Graham Norton, Lulu, and Sam Ryder. Okay. We had to sit through a starting edition of varying quantity. Baldwin's bedtime story for comic relief. Bloody hell! That sounds awesome. That sounds good. We'll see the exclusive return of one of the nation's most loved characters, Baldrick, as he reads his very own Blackadder bedtime story. And Lenny Henry taking a moment off from complaining about how racist everybody is. Lenny, how can you smile in such a racist Britain that you, weirdly enough, I don't know, if you hadn't have told me you were black, Lenny, I would never have known because I've always loved you. Now you told me I'm black and go, oh no, I hate the Tiswas now. Yeah, I'm not, I don't. I knew you were black, right? I knew. We all knew, okay? Because we can see you, okay? Okay, for more detail, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Anything else about David Tennant? If they thought of David Tennant was a shot, we got plenty more surprises for you on the way. The Boston Shooter's 15th Doctor is laden with mystery, horror, this sounds like Ross Lee Davis, mystery, horror, robots, puppets, danger, and fun. Fun! Yes! Fun! Oh, do you remember fun? Do you remember that when before Doctor Who used to lecture you about climate change? You can wreck planets or you can save them. Oh yeah, that was a classic, wasn't it? Is this Ralph C. Davis? It's later with mystery, horror, danger, and fun. And how is it connected to the return of the wonderful Don Ober and what and why? We're giving you a year to speculate and then all hell lets loose. I get the feeling it is, right? I do get the feeling it is. Katie Banner's been talking about that. Doctor Who shared a statement where when the first season was released, confirming the Doctor's new lineage. Now there's a fine, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Okay, so David Tennant's going to be on Red Nose Day somehow. We'll find out how, okay? You've got 4 days to go to find out. Next story. Now, this is a fun little story. Again, I love it when normie media talk about Doctor Who. They always got to have exterminate in the headline. If it's about comic books, they go biff, bang, pow, right? But exterminate. Vintage Doctor Who collectibles have been recovered by police in Adur and Worthing. I don't know where Adur is, but the rightful owner is still a mystery. Wonder what this is. Okay, we accept this. Let's see what it is. Please might have our nerves a treasure trove of Doctor Who figurines, cards, and magazines. And I lost who the rightful owner. Could it be you? Yeah, I mean, why isn't it his? Right? Well, I don't understand. Why do they not think it belongs to people who they found it in the possession of? If you're a Doctor Who fanatic and you think these items might belong to you, the police want to hear from you. Oh, eyes, nose, ears. There we go. All you need to prove your ownership, and they'll be happy to reunite you with impressive memorabilia. Well, I'll be screwed. I have no look, really. Somebody steals my Perry. All I got is the memories, baby. All I got is the memories. Perry, don't tell anybody about the memories, okay? Don't tell me anything about what happened. Okay, Rabbi. Okay, fine. Just all I had to do was, use quite a lot of glue to stick her shirt back on. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. She cried. A postman says, we are urging anyone who thinks these items might be theirs or knows who they might belong to come forward. Look, if it is you, come forward. Are you the owner of these Doctor Who memorabilia? I mean, can you show us some of them, you bloody morons? We don't know what figurines mean. It could be anything. Are they like what were those great? The Harlock ones? They were great. I don't know. Yeah, so if you're the true owner of Doctor Who treasures, don't hesitate to contact that police on 101, I guess it's the phone number, and quote, crime reference 4723004346. Don't let the Daleks please get the hands on the collectibles. Okay, very good. Let's go on to the next news story. Doink. Okay, here we go. Stephen, oh yeah, this is a big one. And this sent toxic fandom into a major meltdown, like a major tailspin, incredibly major tailspin, really bizarrely. Stephen Moffat is set to return to Doctor Who as showrunner as Rusty David asks for a new episode. So, I reported on this rumor of the story about, 2-3 weeks ago, I think, and my supposition at the time is same as my supposition now. I think that he's going to be the showrunner on a spin-off rather than be writing for Ncuti Gatwa, but I'm not sure, right? Maybe both. Maybe neither. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Because Stephen Moffat was went on record on the Radio Times saying it will be career suicide for me to return to a junior position on a show that I used to run. Which makes a lot of sense to me, right? Makes a lot of sense. But to return as a showrunner on a spin-off makes sense. But if he's going to... See, I believe the spin-offs are going to grow organically from what's coming out of the episodes, right? I really genuinely believe that. Much like they did last time. Torchwood came out of Doctor Who, right? Sarah Jane Adventures came directly out. It all came out of season 2, right? It just organically came out of it. If he's going to write an episode that will be the entrance to a spin-off, kind of like Assignment Earth was for the original Star Trek. How has no fan group ever done their own version of Assignment Earth TV show? Right? That's bizarre. I mean, like, they stopped doing the fan films of Star Trek a while ago. Oh, man, can they bring back the fan films? They were great. Although, okay, I'm loving Picard. I really am. So yeah, again, so it makes a lot of sense to me that it's not as clear as he's saying he's not coming back because he said very clearly, I'm not doing that. So again, might have been a bluff. Moffat lies. Remember that? While Moffat was showrunner, Moffat lies. Yes, indeed, Moffat does indeed lie. Maybe he wasn't, right? So let's read the story. Russell, oh man, I gotta make this a bit bigger. There you go. Stephen Moffat is reportedly set to return to Doctor Who to write episodes, interesting, for the new series. I mean, the vibe I am getting is what Rusty Davies cares about most is quality, and second is diversity. I think he cares about diversity. I think diversity is very important to him, especially like having trans people in it, having trans voices heard, having gay voices heard. I think this is something that he grew up with. I think this is a core part of his being, right? I think that's a recurring feature of his work as well. But I think he is very mad about the lack of quality that snuck in under the banner of diversity, right? So that's what I think. So I think he needs to reestablish Doctor Who as being great, right? Reestablish it as being absolutely fantastic. And look, Stephen Moffat is good casting to do that. He's written some of the best Doctor Who. He absolutely has. Stephen Moffat is reportedly set to return to Doctor Who to write episodes for the new series. The screenwriter, 67. Bloody hell! That used to be really old. 67 used to be you're basically at retirement. You're a couple of years away from retirement, right? Previously served as showrunner from 2010 to 2017, and was also a writer on the new show. That's also true. Rusty Davies has taken over as showrunner once again, and has recruited Stephen to write episodes of 2024 series starring Ncuti Gatwa. Again, are you going to reference him denying this a month or so ago? Because that's really would make more sense. A source told the Mirror Russell's on a mission to make Doctor Who great again. And I love we can speak about this openly now. That's one of the great things I'm loving about the end of the era of lies about everything. We knew it was failing. We knew it wasn't great, right? We knew the Jodie Whittaker era was a damp squid that absolutely completely failed. We all knew that. You're not surprising anybody with that news, right? Event television that not to be missed. That's what I think it's going to be. But man, I think it's going to be on a global scale, right? I think it's going to be genuinely on an absolutely global scale, which is fantastic. Event television not to be missed. Which is what it was for many years during his and Stephen's tenure in charge of the show. Pretty much so. I mean, look, Capaldi got, I think, a really raw deal, right? Could it be possible that he's going to write a Capaldi miniseries? Oh, wouldn't you love that? Could be Matt Smith, right? Wouldn't you love that too? He has nothing but respect for what Stephen achieved with the show, and was a fan of his vision on the show, of a showrunner. It wasn't a million miles away from Russell's, right? Let's be fair. You know, who was it? The guy who finds the missing episodes. I can't remember his name. Oh boy, it used to be on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. So yeah, he's always bemoaned the Fitzroy Tavern influence. Like, Fitzroy Tavern was a pub in London where Doctor Who fans, where I went as well in the 80s, 90s, used to go and hang out. I think probably Stephen Moffat, Rusty Davies was also there around the same time. Man, if I could just go back in time. But yeah, we had Paul Cornell was a big star, used to show up then. It's very much the Fitzroy Tavern Doctor Who, which I like. Fitzroy Tavern Doctor Who was also the Virgin New Adventures Doctor Who, which was basically the BBC Eighth Doctor Adventures Doctor Who, right? And it's what and that grew into Big Finish. There's a little Fitzroy Tavern era, right? And so it's the same thing. So yeah, I get it's got nothing to respect. It's basically the same production, right? It was slightly different. He approached him about returning in just a writing capacity because he knows Doctor Who inside out and has a brilliant imagination for adventures in space and time. He does know Doctor Who inside out. I really recommend, I mean, for many reasons, I think it's the season 10 Blu-ray. They got a great documentary with Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss discussing the Third Doctor, and their level of insight into what Doctor Who is and what makes Doctor Who work is brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant. Found it. So yeah, listen, I do hope this is true. He took some convincing, but the chance to contribute to a show he loved since childhood and see it blossom in a new era was just too much to resist. Fine. So Stephen Moss was responsible for Black Matt Smith, Capaldi, also the War Doctor, also what's her name? The alternate First Doctor. Dave Bradley, First Doctor. Okay, serves as writer. He said, I just want it to go on. I just want to go on. I want it not to stop. I want it to, and I know Russell is going to make use of the infinite adaptability to always be the #1 predator in the environment. I think it probably will. So I don't know where this quote comes from. Is this from an inside source or is this actually a quote? That's what I want it. Don't want to go on forever. I can believe, and I believe it can. Like stories like Robin Hood, King Arthur, and Sherlock Holmes. Some things can't always go on. Now look, Robin Hood's a great example. Gone on for like, what, 600 years? Shooty Gatwa, blah, blah, blah. I think that's the end of the story. He told the BBC the role... Okay, fine, he's talking about that Shooty Gut was saying. Shooty Gut being wonderful and charming, right? I like Shooty Gut being wonderful and charming. Yeah, I kind of like wonderful and charming people. This is a fun little story. Let's look at this. Christian, well, we'll change a few little things about Doctor Who run. What, the complete and total failure of it, mainly? You think that? How about casting Jodie Whittaker? What about that insanely subtle rainbow T-shirt she wore? Right? No, yeah, nobody picked up on what you were going on with that, right? Exactly. Louise Griffin wrote last week how Jodie Whittaker and Jo Martin can't be the last female doctors. Listen, darling, Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker took such an insane, diuretic, relentless shit on the idea of a female doctor, which I was on board for. Right, when they first said, I'm like, yeah, let's see what you're going to do. That sounds interesting. I was totally on board for it. Did it work out? No, it didn't. Let's read this story, okay? This idiot story. Former Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall has looked back at his time helming Doctor Who and saying he wants it to focus on Saying he wants to focus on what it did well. Nothing! It did nothing well, right? Other than, stay on the air. It did absolutely nothing well, right? It was, what do you think you succeeded in? Right? Nothing. I mean, really? I mean, I don't know. Writer who stepped down on the 13th Doctor stepped down was fired. However you want to describe it. Actress Jodie Whittaker, after 3 seasons, was showrunner from 2017 to 2022. Speaking exclusively to the Radio Times, whether he'll change anything, he said, a few little things. But we did so much, you really didn't. Okay, go back and watch Arachnids in the UK, Mr. Chibnall, and you tell me how you think that's a professional piece of writing, right? What about Doctor Who Flux? Like, Flux was, like, genuinely unwatchably awful, right? I mean, although that was the best Doctor Who he did, don't get me wrong, but Flux was just like an embarrassment. It was again, unwatchably awful in terms of the writing. You left it with 3/4 of the universe destroyed, and this woman who's been pregnant for like a long time and just never explained anything, right? None of it made sense. What do you think was professional about that? Because there wasn't much. And it was so much, we did so much, and how much fun it was. Who was the fun for? The weirdos on Twitter, it wasn't fun. It wasn't funny, it wasn't fun, it wasn't uplifting, it wasn't good. It was an awful, awful, awful time. No, I'm sitting here thinking about what I'd change. Was that? No, I'm not sitting here thinking about what has changed. None of us are. Well, maybe that's why it was such a relentless, awful, bloody failure, right? Maybe that's the reason. Oh, no, that piece of unwatchable shit that failed completely wouldn't change a frame. Maybe you should. Maybe you should. And the first frame should be this actress. Like, get rid of her, get rid of that costume. Look, it's not because she's a woman. It's because she was shit in the role, for God's sake. I am willing to bet that you could get any number of great actresses who could do a good job with this role. Jodie Whittaker is not one of them, right? I'm sorry, Jodie Whittaker is not one of them. The former showrunner has also completely ruled out returning to the series, even as a writer under Russell Lee Davies. Who's offering, mate? Really? I'm ruling out buying several beachfront properties today, right? I can pay for them with this plastic spoon, but not much else, right? So I'm ruling out buying several expensive Martha Vineyard beachfront property with this spoon because I can't do it and nobody's offering it to me. I think the same thing. OMG, says Chibnall. I've only just finished. Excuse me? You finished a year and a half ago. That's not only, like, a year, think what you were a year and a half ago. Think what's happened in a year and a half of your life. Is that, like, a year and a half ago was, where are we up to now? We're in 2023, 2022, 2021, right? Towards the end of 2021's when you wrapped up. That's not just now. That's a long time ago. I think what you're doing is what we call fibbing, and you're doing it badly. How do I know you're doing it badly? Because Chris Chibnall's doing it. It's the only way he knows how to do anything. Badly. I've been across 31 episodes, and they're all awful. Not one of them is watchable in any way. For the last 5 years of my life, it's not a lot of work, mate. I'm sorry, right? It's not a lot of work. I wonder how many episodes that Russell Davies is going to be across over the next 5 years, right? Well, look, we got Doctor Who at least 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. That's like 10 more than you without doing any spin-offs, right? It's off. There's no prospect whatsoever. Yeah, same as there's no prospect whatsoever of me buying beachfront property with this plastic spoon. It's Russell's now, and I'm happy to be a viewer. Really? I cannot wait to see David Tennant. I cannot wait to see Shooting Gatwell. The most amazing casting. Can you wait to see how their ratings compare to yours? Can you wait for that? I don't think you can. Well, at least I can't anyway, because I think that might be redonkulously funny, right? And just waffle. Waffle. It's exactly the same quote from Shooting Gatwell again. Bloody hell. So much waffle, right? So much bloody waffle. Let's look at this. This is an interesting little story. Neil Cross addresses whether he'll take over as Doctor Who showrunner. So Neil Cross I think he's written a couple of episodes. He's a ad blocker detective. Leave me alone. But he's got he did Luther, right? He just got the new Luther movie out. I haven't got to see it yet. So the episodes he did weren't the best ones, unfortunately. Neil Cross has opened up whether he'll ever showrun Doctor Who. The novelist and TV writer who created Luther is a big fan of the sci-fi series and got to write 2 episodes back in 2013. Rings of Akatan, not one of the best ones. The Oh My Star stuff didn't really work very well. Okay, the big leaf thing. Get rid of that. How do I get rid of that? Close. Fine. And Hyde. Hyde was actually a much better episode, right? It still wasn't great, but it was much closer to being a great episode. Came during the Stephen Moffat era when Matt Smith played the Time Lord and Jenna Louise Coleman played his assistant Clara Oswald. Ralph C. Davis, who rebooted the show in 20, blah, 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 Independent asked Cross what he would do if Davis asked Cross to replace him when he decides to step away again. Cross said he'll be too scared to take on Doctor Who. Pussy! You pussy. At the same time, having never met him, if Rusty Davis asked me round because he needed his house cleaned or needed someone to cook him breakfast, I'll do that without hesitation. Well, okay then. He praised Davis, saying he owes him a great deal. What he did for me and Doctor Who in general can't really be underestimated. That is true. Gary Lineker's in the big. I just like. It basically, does Gary Lineker represent, the elitist media and everybody else? It seems to be. He brought me more joy than any other living human being. I think I can say the same, quite frankly. I mean, I got my kids, I got my wife. Cross said that he's quite good friends with former executive producer Julie Gardner, who's friends with Davis, also the executive producer on the new series. We don't talk about Doctor Who very much, although I do sometimes. When I've had a glass of wine through her, I was able to get Russell's email address, and I was able to write him essentially a fan letter and say thank you. He wrote this, oh man, I would love to read that. He wrote me such a gracious reply, it made me fall in love with him even more. And again, I don't like Benjamin Cook, who is the co-writer on this, but don't let disliking somebody stop you accessing something that you would enjoy. I so recommend The Writer's Tale, which is basically, you just get to see Davis's personality. I bet that's 100% true, right? Grosser is in film version of Luther Falling Sun. It's supposed to be really dark. He said it's the same temptation that every writer has when they write an episode of Doctor Who. You want to acknowledge your own personal experience of Doctor Who, and I was guilty of that myself when I did it. Cross said he overburdened himself with the experience, stating, I had the cloister bell ringing on the TARDIS, and it hadn't run since '69. Cloister bell rang in, was it 80? First time was Logopolis, 81, I think. When he asked if he regretted that addition, he replied, "Not at all. But there's an element of playing in the toy box." Yeah, I hear it. Listen, I can see him coming in as a writer. I think he's too old, frankly. I think he's too old. Because I don't think that's what Rusty Davis is going to be doing. I think he wants to be making some kind of like hub for new writing talent, right? I think that's what the new era of Doctor Who's about. Which brings us to this last story, which is absolutely delicious. Doctor Who redacted creator replaced without explanation for Series 2. So this is freaking hilarious, right? This is absolutely hilarious. Is this the one? Doink. Yeah, no, that's how it was over here. There you go. This is the right one. This is hilarious. Let me read this tweet, right? So apparently Ella Watts was the producer on Redacted. I thought Redacted was awful, right? I started off by telling you I had a copyright strike, a community strike about it, right? Because it was absolutely awful, right? Apparently the rumor is she was a nightmare to work with. She wouldn't take any criticism. She wouldn't take any notes. And that's why it wasn't very good. My guess is, so my first thing when I heard Redacted's coming back, how? Like, how on earth is Redacted coming back? I mean, that just seems insane to me on so many levels, right? Absolutely, completely insane. Because it was just terrible. From conception to creation to every level, it was absolutely terrible. So my guess is Russell E. Davies wants, again, the most important thing is quality. Second most important thing is diversity. So I think he hated Redacted, and he might want to do something to redress the balance somehow, right? So this is why you never hire social justice warriors, because they are awfully unprofessional, and they they're just awfully, insanely unprofessional, and they will always bite the hand that feeds them, which is what happened here. So she posted this awfully unprofessional thing on Twitter, biting the hand that fed them. Let's just read it. It looks like there's a Doctor Who Redacted Season 2 in the works. Sadly, I won't be working on it. Oh, so it might actually be good. Whilst I was clear I wanted to remain on the project, I was clear. I wanted I was clear! I was replaced by the BBC without explanation. Should you were shit, and you're horrible to work with is my guess. But what you produced was shit. Without explanation or an application yeah, they don't want you. Much the same way Chris Chibnall was replaced without explanation or application process. So were you. I believe I'll be replaced by James Goss's a man. If Redacted 2 is anything like his previous work, it'll be fantastic, and I wish him the best, she says, lying through her bitter teeth while crying her bitter tears. Doctor Who means different things to different people. As a fan and a queer woman, I've never said as a Doctor Who fan and a Jew, right? I've never really needed to bring my Jewishness into my love of Doctor Who, and it is kind of a central part of my existence. To be part of bringing a queer woman fronted show to the Whoniverse, which was shit and failed, right? Was an immensely proud moment in my life. From pitching it in 2018 to bringing Juno on board in 2019, who is in trouble for grooming right now, apparently. Been writing books about how kids can go on to paedophile websites, I don't know, right, and hook up with adults. It's really creepy. They're then producing, casting, script editing, writing, and directing. It's been incredible. It was incredibly bad. I'm sorry I've not been given the opportunity to see it through, because you were shit and horrible to work with, right? This isn't the first time in podcasting that a woman has been replaced by men following successful first seasons. Oh, don't pin your failure on your freaking identity. It's got nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with that. Folliver says, I'm heartbroken it happened here. I don't know more. I hope the production goes well. Can't wait to listen. You ain't getting another job at the BBC, darling. That's over, right? That is completely and totally over. Look, it's just, the times they are changing, baby. The times they are changing. Thank God. Also, power has really come into the hands of fandom, right? I don't have the story to put up on screen. I'm probably going to cover it in my live stream tonight. I think it's Black Glove Studios, right? And if I'm wrong, I really apologize. They've announced they're putting together an animated season 23. Season 23, the season that was shelved, the Colin Baker season that was shelved in favor of Trial of a Time Lord, right? So, are they going to be using AI animation techniques? The fact that we can actually do this now, and I think it can look professional, and I think it can look great. Right? So they're going to be doing The Nightmare Fair, which is a Celestial Toy Maker story. It's been adapted a bunch of times. It's been adapted by Big Finish. There's a book by Graham Williams. There's a book on tape coming out with a really weird, and I'm pretty sure, AI Colin Baker on the cover, right? That's coming out. It's very good, though. Mission of Magnus, freaking awful, right? Philip Martin with Syl, freaking awful. Ultimate Evil, that wasn't bad. Big Finish just adapted that as well. The Hollows of Time, which I thought was very bad as well. And Yellow Fever, which I'm really excited about, right? I'm really genuinely excited about Yellow Fever and how to cure it. The Robert Holmes Alton story set in Singapore, or was it Japan? Or so I don't bloody know. I guess we'll find out. But Black Glove Studio, yeah, this is the way of the future, mate, right? This is absolutely the way the future's going. We can make our own content. Fans can make their own content, and we can make it professional. We're a couple of years out from it at the absolute most, probably much less than that, right? I think fans are probably just going to animate the lost stories, and probably AI will be able to recreate them as well. I mean, technology is in an insane place today. So because of that, I think we're looking, and because of the complete failure of identity-led entertainment, which is what we've had for the last 5 years, I think we're entering a new golden age of meritocracy, of like where things have to be good and things have to land with the target audience. I'm certainly seeing that across genre right now. I'm seeing that on Star Wars after being awful last year. They didn't do anything watchable in Star Wars, and the sequel trilogies were horrible. Mando's back, and it's pure Star Wars to my mind. Star Trek Picard, again, pure Star Trek. It's one of the best Star Trek I've ever seen. Great next gen stuff. Absolutely loving every second of it. I think Rusty Davies' new Doctor Who is going to be fantastic. I think Happy Days are here again, right, on many fronts. I was a bit taken aback to hear they're doing Redacted too, right? But firing Ella Watts and bringing in James Goss, maybe even that'll be watchable. Maybe even, and like, this is how much the world has churned so freaking quickly, right? Maybe even Star Trek Discovery, which they pushed back to 2024. I think it's supposed to come out this year. Maybe that's being retooled to not be awful. Maybe. Who knows or dares to dream? My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.